I thought this is a good opportunity to kind of do a mid-season, well, not mid-season, the business end, but kind of all right. We have some time, so let's do like a review of our transfers. Um, yeah, before I share this to the stream, um, yeah, somebody did want to change D tier, so we're going to a standard tier list. What you guys have seen, and the reason we're laughing is you're going to see it on your stream right about now. Okay. So, the standard tier list. You've all seen this on the internet. And we're going to rate our, 7, 8, 9 transfers. 7 the first team, 2 on the youth team. But kind of, those 2 youth team are in and around the first team. So we have included them. And standard tier list with, S, A, B, C. But on request, I've updated D to be Highland. Rasmus Highland, I hope you're not seeing this, but so yeah, let's start with this. We have so I kind of gone defenders and then the lone midfielder and striker after that, and then the youth. So and man, we had a lot of transfers this season. Even if you ignore these 2 youth players, 7 first team um, players we have bought this season, and yet we are where we are in the table. It's rough.
So how do we do this? Do we go like starting from left to right, or
Yeah,
do we
yeah,
go by
yeah.
how do we do
Let's go
this?
from left to right. Starting with Mazraoui. Where do you want to put him? I would say B or C. I mean, I don't think he's much better than that, or it's been much better than that. I know it's highly rated from Bayern, but yeah, I don't think it. Especially under Amorim, has kind of struggled. I guess it feels like with the setup and all that. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I think I would be I would put him at A if because he's been used in 2 positions at RCB and also right wing back as well. And even though he's not a good fit for our right wing back, he was used there, and especially with the injuries and everything, he does play. No, they're not up to the mark, of course, but I think he's been useful a lot. And even like when we signed him, he had a good run of games and he really played well at right back. Uh, so for that, I would just push him a little bit towards A rather than like putting him in a B or C. I think he's been a better than decent signing. Not the best, of course, but definitely a good signing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Rohan on that. I think Mazraoui is at A. I know that there have been flaws, like the stamina issues, some of the wide defensive coverage, etc. But he has become probably our most reliable RCB, and he's done well there. He's also done well in recent weeks. Shout out to Ramadan Mazraoui. He has been excellent. He's been fasting
Yeah,
all month,
Yep.
putting
Yep.
in like great performances.
that's commendable.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's done that at right wing back. So the roles changed a little, but he's done well. And I want to add, 15 million, uh, pound for pound, he's been like
Yeah,
a pretty
That
decent
is
signing,
true.
I would
definitely.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, I put him at A because it is the majority opinion. So yeah, but yeah, no, I do agree. I think considering his transfer fee to account, he has been very good. So yeah, fair points. Up next we have Delict. Start with you, Somdeep, on this one. Where are you putting Delict?
Yeah, I think Matthias de Ligt, we signed him hoping for experience to some extent, hoping for some leadership at the back. I don't think he's been the worst signing. Obviously, he's made some slip ups, as he's done at previous clubs as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I would put him at B or C.
Hmm.
His transfer fee at 45 million isn't the craziest, so maybe a B for me. I'm being optimistic here, but I just think that he can give us more in the coming seasons. I think there's been a lot of change of systems and a lot of demand placed on the centre backs. Uh, I'm going to go with B just because he covers right back and centre back and keeps rotating between those every game. And s- and his box defending
Yeah.
has been great in Amarim's
Mm,
system. So
yeah.
just for that reason, I'll go with B.
Okay. Yeah, I think I broadly agree with Somdeep. Delic did have a bit of a tough start to us. I think he didn't exactly hit the ground running like say Mazraoui did, but I think he has grown into the role, especially now. Like he's pretty much I think the most senior centre back playing right now with all our injuries. Um, but
This
yeah,
Victor Lindelof.
oh right, I forgot this. But I mean, sure, starting centre back Lindelof is really not starting for us anymore.
No,
But I mean, now he is. But I mean, what I'm saying is like he's not really a first choice centre back for us. So, um, and I mean, he has kind of Delict has probably taken a bit of that. Also the Licha and the Maguire role. As being one of the senior voices in that back line. So yeah, I think B is fair. I mean, yeah, personally, I would not put him at A because of the transfer fee as well. What 45 million euros? Yeah, that does put more expectations on a player. I think B is fair. What about you, Ron?
Yeah, I completely agree with both of you. Like B should be fair. He's gradually getting to know this formation, and he's slowly coming. He's adapting to it. He's
Yeah,
trying really hard, and he's made some good tackles, and he's done well, decently. Like so, B is fair. B is fair for him.
yeah. And why don't you continue with Lenny Yoro?
Oh, uh, Yoro, I would put at B. Not, I think uh, he's a really good signing, like one for the future.
Yeah.
He's slowly adapting. At least I think he's adapting to the whole English environment as well. Just same as Mazro and Dilit. Like I think they've come into this game, into this league, and Yoro is slowly like we won't. I can't see his full potential right now. He's done decently. Uh, Not like he has made mistakes, which is like a given because he's just like new to the league. He's new to the setup. It's not really his like he's not playing in his ideal position. But I think he has helped us a lot with his pace and his youth energy, and also he's been confident enough to make some good challenges as well. So I would put him at B. I think B is fair for him.
Okay. And you, Somdeep? You agree with B?
Uh, I think purely for his potential and the fact that it's his first season, arrived in the Premier League as an 18-year-old, right? That's tough. Tough start with a bad injury in preseason,
Yeah.
and just so many changes and so much upheaval at the club. I have concerns with some parts of his defending, specifically some of his wide defending as the RCB. He sometimes struggled, and he's looked suspect with some of his aerials as well. Like losing a few headers here and there. So there are like issues in his defending that he needs to work out. But for his potential and the fact that it's his first season, B, I think is fair. And the fact that with his movement to LCB,
Yeah.
I don't know, he's looked very confident on
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
left side of the pitch
True.
consistently. Uh, I can't explain why, but just for that B, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. He has looked much better after moving to the left side. And is he left footed? I don't think so, right? He's
No,
right footed.
he's
Yeah.
a right-footed only. Yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah,
Wow.
right-footed.
it's a really strange one that because he's right-footed. He played in a back four at his
Mm.
previous club,
Yeah.
and he was the right centre back there. Uh, I don't have a good theory for why this is happening. The only explanation I might have is when he's playing on the right, uh, for whatever reason, maybe I think he struggles with runners on his wrong side because they tend to
Mm.
go on his outside.
Yeah.
When he plays on the left, uh, I think just because of like his body orientation, he spots runners more easily, or he just has more of the attackers in front of him, and he's more comfortable
Right.
with that.
Right.
But yeah, but I don't have much beyond that.
Mm.
It's a different player sometimes.
Yeah.
On the ball also he's good on the left side. I've seen that. He's like like you spoke about body orientation, right? On the ball, receiving and giving passes, he's looks slightly comfortable there, more than RCB.
Extremely so, and
Hmm.
for that I like I have a little theory there. I think when he's the LCB, right, and he's on playing on his right foot, and he looks up, he has he has the wing back to his left, and the vast majority of the remaining players are like are more in like in line with his right foot, like he has more access to them. He can pass really wide out to the center backs or the wing backs on the other side. He can pass into midfield, and I think that gives him that extra confidence. When he's playing right center back, his options are really a ball to the wing back
Mm.
or a ball into midfield. Like that's kind of, I think it just limits his like field of view, and he's not used to that yet.
Yeah.
uh,
I think that'll be more
so
useful. He
yeah.
was the right centre back in a back four, where you have the full back
Yeah,
next to you, and
probably.
that's a good passing option.
Yeah,
But
and
as
what
a
happens
back
there
three,
is
you're
you have a
already on the
fullback next to
touchline
you.
pretty much in a back
Exactly.
three.
Yeah, and it's easier also from right center back in a
Mm.
back four to play passes to the left back or the left winger. Because you have that security of two players on the opposite side. Uh, but the minute you're RCB in a back three,
Mm.
the wing back on the left side is your only real target on that side, and they're very far away now. It's kind of like two extremes of the pitch.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I feel like he has been way more confident on the ball though, like on
Mm.
the left for sure. 60 million though.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. 60 million. I think that's why. Yeah, I think I would probably keep him at B as well. Um, Especially considering his price tag and his early struggles. But he's looking better, so I hope he improves on that. But definitely, I think he's. It feels like he's finally showing his potential and why we bought him for 60 million after switching sides. So that's again another good tweak I would say by Amorim to identify when players are struggling and maybe try a different position to get the best out of them. Um, yeah, I think on that note, next up is Patrick Dorgu. Person is an A
Uh,
for me. What about you guys?
yeah, easy A for me. No pun intended.
Or is he an S?
Just uh, I feel like the sample size is a little too small to say S, and I do not like giving S to any United signings just because of our track record, but comfortably an A.
Yeah.
Not an expensive signing. Young, talented, raises the athletic floor of our team, gives us a profile we didn't even have in the squad at wing
Mm.
back, and is very, very important to our attacking play ever since he's joined. And he's been solid defensively too. Great addition to the squad. And uh, I'm very happy we didn't sign Giovanni Kenda or Jenny Katamo. We didn't fall back to the manager's previous wingbacks. We actually went out there and picked one for whatever reasons we deemed best. So nice change to see that.
I mean, I would still probably wanted Alvaro Carreras, but sure. Uh, Rohan, what do you think of Dorgu?
Yeah, I like the Dorgu signing. I would just put him on S just because United for once have profiled someone correctly and signed them. Just for that, I would put them on S.
Okay.
because it's been a long since United have done that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
fine. Like if A is more, it's good. It's good enough. Very very good signing, and like potential is huge. So hope we develop him well, and he does really, he progresses.
Yeah, fair points. And then we go to that's heaven, right? Aaron heaven. Yeah. What do you think of heaven, Ron? I personally
Man,
feel is probably another especially or maybe even S, considering the price tag, just a million. And he has looked
I know.
so assured, so confident. Like if you just compare Heaven and Lenny Yoro, right? Both are what roughly the same age, right? Both are 18.
Yes.
One
Yeah.
cost 60 times the other, and both look equally good on the pitch.
No, I would put him at S
Yeah,
actually, because like even though I know the sample size only like 3 games, but but he has actually come in and he has played in a way where like you can't even guess that okay we signed this, he's
yeah.
just played 3 games for us, like he's so confident and he's done well. I would just put him at S for just for that.
No,
I
I
don't mind
agree.
putting
I'll
him at
I'll
yeah
put him at S2. And you may
yeah
say it's just 3 games, but
yeah
one of those
yeah
his debut was against Arsenal, right? If I'm not wrong.
yeah yeah against yeah.
And he looks so good in that. So yeah, I think for that I would put him at S as well. What do you think, Sondeep? Do you have a different take?
I know I just said that I don't like putting United transfers at S, but yeah, this is a resounding S for me. 1 million, uh,
Yep.
zero risk.
Yep.
But what I really like about this deal is we signed a centre back who's tall, who is quick off the ball, is great on the ball. That's a rare combination, and is left-footed. That's it's a very difficult set of conditions to match. Uh, and we got him for 1 million, and
Yeah.
he's from a rival. So this is probably one of the like smartest deals I've seen United make in a long time. Plus, I have a personal I love this signing also because I think I first noticed him a year ago while he was playing for Arsenal, and then of course he played against us in preseason. And right from the first time I've watched Aiden Heaven play, I thought that this is a LCB for the future, and I was surprised when United signed him. This was brilliant.
The
So
future
yeah.
is here. The future is here. Um, yeah, I think I'm also really excited with Heaven and Yoro potentially being our two of three centre backs. I don't know for the next if it all works out. Let me qualify with that with a big bag of salt. But if it all works out, we probably have our two of our three center backs, starting center backs set for the next decade and a half. If it all works out, which when is the last time we have said that? Like United has struggled even at CB recruitment over the past decade, right? We played Chris Smalling for a long time. We over we overpaid on Harry Maguire. We got I think Licha was the first good centre back purchase we made as a club.
I thought Blend was decent, although he wasn't signed as a centre back.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's that.
yeah. So I think good transfers, both Heaven and Euro in that way. We next move to Manuel Ugarte, and I know Somdeep has a lot of thoughts on this man, so I'll start with Somdeep.
Uh, when the window occurred and we signed Ugarte, I thought like this is going to be a terrible move. Just from whatever I'd watched of Ugarte, the only thing that I liked about him initially was that he possesses the ability to like have a half turn and then pass the ball. Like, that was the only positive I felt from him, and I value that.
Yeah,
But unfortunately, I think we have our first Hoyland. Uh, yeah, and the reason is 60 million. Uh, Yes, he's kind of young, but 60 million, so he's probably clogged our DM options for the next 2 or 3, maybe the next 3 or 4 years. Uh, and we funded PSG's move for Jean Neves. They paid the exact same amount to sign him,
Hmm.
and I know that we probably signed Manuel Ugarte to sweeten the Lenny Yoro deal or something like that because they share the same agent. But yeah,
Ah.
I'm just yeah, I'm gonna put him in the Highland tier because of the expense and just the fact that having signed him
Hmm.
and looked at enough games, looked at enough data, Bruno's been a better DM than him. Casemiro has been outstanding and way better than him. And we've looked better in games with Casemiro. Even Menu, according to me, has been
Hmm.
better than Ugarte. Uh, Ugarte has one purpose in this squad that he serves, and that's uh, in big games when you expect to not have the ball or you're away from home.
Hmm. Hmm.
He can work as a ball winner occasionally, but that's it. His role is limited, and maybe it changes with time, but right now this feels like a Hoyland to me.
Wow, those are some sharp, stinging words on Ugarte. Um, I mean, he is starting off late, right? Oh well, okay, he didn't start against Sociedad. Interesting, huh? Yeah, I guess there is something to what you said. Wait, was he injured before the Leicester game?
I want to show you guys something.
Sure.
Is there any way I can share my screen?
Yeah, you can. You should be able to share your screen.
Okay, just
You muted yourself, Sandeep.
oh, I was saying, give me a moment to pull that up while
Yeah,
Rohan shares his thoughts.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead on Ugarte.
Uh, I actually agree with Somdeep
Wow.
on this one. Um, I could be generous and put him in C, but you know, I think Somdeep is spot on with the analysis there on Ugarte. He's quite limited. He gives us an option in big games, yes.
Hmm.
Uh, he's that ball-winning midfielder who will work hard for you, maybe. But like given like I made this point earlier as well, like in our offline chats as well. Like if we had like a young Casemiro or like a DM who could really dictate tempo and
Hmm.
you know and we need that also. Like we do need a midfielder, we do need a DM. If we had that, I can't really see Ugarte starting, especially like given how Bruno has adapted and even when once Menu comes back, I can't really see much of a use of Ugarte. Uh, yeah, in the Premier League, he 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 is useful, of course, and like we need that intensity a bit in the middle, but it's too early. It's too early also to say if he's going to develop. But I can't see any like huge potential of him. He does give us very limited uh, options to play. So I would just I'm a little confused, like to put him in a Highland tier right now or not. Maybe like after a year, I would have, if we are still seeing the same,
Hmm.
maybe I would have 100% put him in the Highland tier. But
Hmm.
it's a tough call for this for Ugarte. I would just be generous and put him in C just because he's right, like he's new. That's it.
Would your opinion change considering we spent more than 50 million on him and he still is not a guaranteed starter?
Ye- I mean, we did spend no, but like if you compare it to the previous signings, like this feels little bit okay as compared relatively as compared to like people like Sancho and everything. So uh yeah, it's still in the middle somewhere. But yeah, he's hanging. He's very close to the Hoyland tier for me right now.
Yeah.
But I would still put him in C just for the just to give him some confidence.
I do think he has a I do think he has a squad role to play, especially in
Yeah,
big games, and like I definitely recognize that he did have some good performances against Man City
Yeah.
in the win, for example.
yeah,
So he has a role to play, but a player having a squad role for 60 million is a
Mm.
little difficult, and big games against the top teams are a small like you're playing situations like Man City very less in the Premier League. Like the vast majority of other teams will have different ways to deal with United.
Mm.
So yeah, but yeah, maybe C is fair. Like I don't know, maybe C
but
is
I
fair.
one thing I will say, I can see him playing more games than Donny van de Beek, but definitely.
That's not
He's
a high
probably
bar.
already hit that.
That's a
So
very low bar.
He's definitely a player I want in and around the squad. So yeah,
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
C is
yeah,
fair. Yeah, as the fourth option, let's say. And I think the 60 million bothers me also because it doesn't necessarily mean the player's bad, but it also makes me think, okay, if we didn't spend that and we promoted Toby Collier, yeah, we won't necessarily get great performances, but it'd be fairly similar and 60 million lesser. So it kind of
Yeah.
blocks newer players who might be
Mhm.
better from coming in.
yeah.
Right.
But yeah, C is probably fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with the C take. I don't think he's a Hoyland, but I think yeah, like you bringing up Collier's only was a good point, right? Let's say we were the classic United dysfunctional, you know, side in the transfer market, and we don't get Ugarte for 60 million, then we would probably be forced to promote Collier and make him start more games. And as we have seen in the last few months, Collier has been a much better player than Ugarte, despite being 5 years younger and having way less experience, in the first team of any side. So, yeah, I think my opinion on Ugarte has kind of like changed over I think the past few months. I was much more positive and forgiving of his performances when he came because like, yeah, new guy, new league. It's coming from the French league to Premier League, and yeah, I mean, big games sometimes. There was a way in which he could be used to make good use of him. But yeah, after seeing Collier, I'm like, man, why? And the club
Yeah,
would
because
have
I feel
known that.
like
Yeah. No, I think the club would
I
have
mean, what
probably have
is
also known that Casemiro doesn't want to leave, right? It's not like Casemiro has been pretty much shouting from the rooftops to whoever listens to that he doesn't want to leave the club. And we have Mainu and all these people. And sure, I'm not saying we should not have bought another midfielder. Like we can never have enough, especially considering our injury history. But to spend 50 million on a guy who just looks middling at best, yeah,
uh, and here's the thing. Like I want to share this little thing.
yeah,
If
just do it.
so, this is a
Uh,
comparative graph from
yeah, yeah.
Data
One
MB
sec, one
of
sec.
of
Let me put it on the stream.
oh yeah. Yeah, as you can see,
Yeah, 2 seconds. It's loading onto the stream. Yeah, good. Maybe zoom in a
yeah.
bit.
So if yeah, and it's definitely a little. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I think that's good.
so the blue is so this is a comparative data MB graph for our midfielders this season.
Hmm.
The four who've primarily played at CM. Blue is Manuel Ugarte, green is Kobe Mainu, yellow is Bruno Fernandes, and red is Casemiro.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Can you maybe
I'll
also
read
add
that because
Collier to this?
unfortunately Collier doesn't have enough minutes to show up on this graph. I did check, but
Oh wow. Okay.
not able to pull up his data here. But I think he would be decent, but a small sample size.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing is Manu Ugarte, Casemiro have played comparable minutes. So
Mhm.
this is not a flash in the pan from Casemiro. He's he's performing at an exceptionally high level this season. And yeah, I can see that we needed a DM, especially if you look at Manu and Bruno's graphs, right? It's just that Ugarte contributes nothing except for a number of duels and a number of defensive actions. Like, is the rest of his contribution is really less, and also his forward pass percentage is uh, it, it looks better than it is, because he doesn't actually pass forward at all. If you look at this number, like, he passes forward the least out of all the midfielders we have. Casemiro is actually very good on that record. He attempts a lot of forward passes. So yeah, definitely a C, and maybe potentially a Hoyland or a Sancho in the future.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Let me switch back to. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. And no, the interesting thing is we have slated Casemiro so much this season, and it looks like he's better um, than Mr. Ugarte. So yeah, that's quite a damning assessment. But yeah, let's wrap this up. We have the last player, Joshua Zirkzee. Yeah, I think Zirkzee, start of the season, I would put him at the Highland level easily. He was not doing anything much. He was disappointing every game, and it felt like he had no future. Obviously, now we know that he has, he was, played out of position. Like, that's probably the United way trademark right now, playing players out of position, as you've seen for the past decade. But I think Zirkzee has always been that off the ball, shadow striker or a number 10 kind of a profile. And once Amorim, and I think I've said this so many times in our chats, Somdeep and Ron, that Zirkzee should not be playing striker. He's a number 10. Like, the dude likes his own meme videos of people saying he's a 9.5. So, and finally, Amorim realizes that and shifts him to that 9.5 role, the off the ball shadow striker number 10 kind of role. And we have seen Zirkzee just, he is so good. He was, I think, 2 matches ago the player of the match as well. So I think the Zirkzee story is a remarkable turnaround this season. So I would put him at either a B or an A depending on consensus. But yeah, I think I'm very happy with Zirkzee. Like, to go from in December being to go from being talked about to, oh, maybe you should just sell him in the summer, to now people saying, hey, he's an important player in the side, right? I mean, we do have a lot of attacking talent, and we have one position short because of the back three, so we only have three people in the front. So yeah, I would not say maybe he's a guaranteed starter, but again, he's in the mix, right? And I don't think any player is a guaranteed starter in the front three for us. So to go from being talked about as, hey, we should sell this guy in the summer first chance, or even in the winter, to now being considered as an important player, an important cog in our tactics, is, I think, a remarkable turnaround. So I would put him at A or B personally.
Uh, I think this is one of the most Manchester United transfers ever. We signed him to be a striker in Eric Ten Hag's system, with a very much a lone striker.
Which also never made sense.
Yeah, which never made sense in terms of he was clearly a false nine, and that's not how United worked at all. We wanted somebody attacking the box, and he isn't that. That's not his brand. Signed him for that. The manager left. New guy comes in. He's even more like less fit to be a striker in Amorim's system. It gets abused by fans at Old Trafford at
Yeah.
home. I too thought he should be sold, so I hold up my hands there too.
All of us
And
thought.
then, yeah, then we hit an injury crisis, and some other manager decides, okay, like let's play this guy as a 10, and he starts shining. A striker we purchased for another system is a great 10 in a completely different system and manager. And the thing is, I feel like he has a strong claim to be the starting left 10. He really has made that position his own. And yeah, I could put him at A just because of the fact that he arrived for 30 million, which is not an astronomical fee for
I thought it was
a
close to
10 or
40,
a,
right?
yeah, probably in that range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
transfer market says 40 and a bit. So yeah, whatever. Still very cheap for a
Yeah.
attacking player in this market.
I think he's good enough to be the left end for United, unless we get Florian Wirtz. Oh, uh, I think he's more than good enough. So just for that, and for the remarkable turnaround after all the
Yeah.
criticism he faced.
Right. Ron?
Yeah, I 100% agree on the like definitely I would put him at A.
Hmm.
Uh, just for the turnaround itself because it's not easy to come in at a club like United, especially the atmosphere here, the fans, the expectations are so high,
Yeah.
and then you come in from a different league, it's slow, and I've seen like he's trying really hard to adapt, and he's picked up the pace of his game, definitely. The output isn't there. Like if he had like more output and everything, I probably would have put him at S as well. But I think A is like a very fair shout for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
100%.
think the output also kind of depend on players around him also kind of showing up, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the
yeah,
striker in front, forgets where the goal is half the time.
yeah,
I mean, I know Hoyland played well the last game, but the entire season has been a
yeah,
disappointment. So,
yeah. But
yeah.
I can see Zirkzee becoming that player who creates a lot. Like
Hmm.
he creates a lot, and
Yeah.
it's on the strikers to put it away. Like
Right.
definitely. So A for him.
Yeah. No, fair shot. Yeah, and who would have thought, let's say in, I don't know, December we decide on the pod, hey, let's do a transfer review during the international break, and all of us are like, oh yeah, Zirkzee is Holland here, and turns out 3 months later you're putting him in A unanimously. It's not even an argument on the
Yeah,
pod.
remarkable turnaround.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our senior transfers. Now we do have two youth in Chido and Sekou Kone. Um, I mean, I personally feel it's probably too early to give any sort of rating, but I mean that's my take. What about you guys?
Uh, I think Chido for me is A, and just because of his track record in Arsenal's youth setup, it's really impressive. The fact that in the three appearances with limited time he's had for us, he hasn't looked physically phased by the Premier League, and that's amazing considering he's just 18.
Hmm.
And just because as a club, right, we don't have like great strikers, so to be able to sign someone with Chido's potential is always great, and it was a low fee, so A just for that. I feel like there are good signs for the future with him.
Mhm.
This is a player who can adapt to the Premier League and do well, for sure.
Okay. And on the same note, what about Sekou Kone? I think he has not even played for us.
Yeah, he hasn't played yet.
I So he had a difficult start, right? Arrived and got injured, I think, in his very first game for one of United's youth teams.
Hmm.
I've watched him a little bit for the playing for the youth, and he is very talented. He's good on the ball. He's very comfortable at receiving in the first phase of build up
Hmm.
in deep midfield, and kind of progressing play from there. Doesn't get pressed too easily. However, having said all that, it is youth football. It's hard to tell how well it
Yeah.
will translate to more senior football. Uh, One for the future. I'll give him a B right now, but it's a low risk deal. But B for the moment. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. I lost all of this. What was I doing? Um, anyways, time to stop sharing. I'll probably try to
That's
change.
okay, man. That's okay. That's what we do as a club with like every signing. So
Yeah, they disappear.
So looks like Hoyland was the undisputed king of the list
Yeah.
from the bottom.
I reflected a little on that. Maybe we should have a tier below Highland called Sancho.
Uh, and I would label it as freedom tier.
I don't I don't think I've ever heard of a club willing to pay 15 million for a player that they bought for 20 million to get rid of him and not have to like I don't think I've ever heard of that. We're about to make transfer profit for keeping him.
Who are you talking about? Sorry.
Chelsea want to go back on the obligation to buy they have for Sancho.
Ah,
It'll mean they pay an expensive fee, obviously. But yeah, can you imagine we're getting paid to keep a player we already had on our books? Like